Hello and welcome. I'm Sofia Tomacruz and I'm Rappler's Foreign Affairs and Security Reporter. We're currently here right now on the Basa Air Base in Pampanga, where a groundbreaking ceremony just took place for the rehabilitation of a runway here in the air base. So we're just going to give you a quick recap of what happened today and why this event is significant. First of all, the rehabilitation of the runway here in Basa Air Base is one of the projects, one of the 21 projects under the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement of the Philippines and the U.S. So that's a key military deal that you've probably been seeing on the news a lot. It was recently expanded by the Marcos administration, and this is one of the 5 original sites under that project. So what's happening here? What happened here today in the Basa Air Base is that if you look over here, this is the runway that the Philippines and the U.S. are rehabilitating under the project. So what's going to happen here is they're going to re-asphalt the runway and repair its overrun. So it's about 2,800 meters long. And it's, of course, the more you use it, the more there's wear and tear. And so this is one of the existing projects right now, one of the 21 existing projects right now under between the Philippine Air Force and the U.S. forces under EDCA. There are, like I mentioned, there are 21 projects, 15 specifically between the Air Force and the U.S. forces. 5 have already been completed, another 5 are ongoing, and another 5 are in the pipeline. So this is one of the 5 that are currently ongoing. And it's an interesting site because you kind of see past and present here because like I mentioned, what you're seeing right now, it's not much, but this land is the runway that the Philippines and U.S. are repairing. And if you actually look over here, Jeff will bring you to this part of the airbase. So what you see here is a warehouse that is also one of the completed projects under EDCA. It's a warehouse for humanitarian assistance and disaster relief and response activities. This project broke ground in 2016, and at the time it was then Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana and former U.S. Ambassador to the Philippines, Ambassador Kim, who hosted that groundbreaking ceremony. So if we can go back to the runway, that's the tent over there is where the groundbreaking ceremony happened. And actually, you see you see some construction going on right now. There. So they're re-asphalting the runway, and what that's supposed to do is it's supposed to be able to provide a larger area for bigger aircraft to land. So that's your C-130s and your C-295s. Gives them bigger maneuvering area for safer takeoff and landing, and also. The runway overruns on either side of the runway are also supposed to facilitate that. So when we spoke to some of the Air Force officials here, aside from safer maneuvering and the ability to have bigger aircraft take off and land here, under the umbrella of humanitarian assistance and disaster relief response, the Basa Air Base can be one place where aircraft from different countries, not just the U.S., can come and land in the event of a big natural disaster. So if you remember Typhoon Yolanda, Super Typhoon Yolanda, when a lot of foreign militaries were here to give assistance, they brought in their aircraft, they brought in different, all sorts of assistance, and this can be kind of one staging area for all of that, and one place where they can park their aircraft and operate out of. There was a groundbreaking ceremony, and some of the key messages and key takeaways that that Philippine and U.S. officials gave us today was that they kind of offered Basa Air Base as this proof of concept that EDCA is a living agreement. So it's news to no one, of course, that EDCA has been long delayed in its implementation, and so by breaking ground here, actually the project is already 42% complete, but they offered it as a kind of concept that example that EDCA is a living project, and that it's on track again, and that the Philippines and U.S. are, have a lot to look forward to in terms of strengthening their defense partnership. They also offered it as an example of local acceptance for EDCA. So with the recent news that EDCA would be expanding, there has of course been some local pushback in areas like Cagayan and Isabela where news sites are where there's speculation of where new sites will be set up. And here in Pampanga, we saw some local officials in attendance, and both Senior Undersecretary Galvez and U.S. Ambassador to the Philippines, Mary Kay Carlson, and all the other officials in attendance made it a point to recognize them and say that, they're grateful for the local acceptance here, and they wanted to banner the economic activity that EDCA would spur, and how while the project is U.S. funded, that they were using the services of Filipino companies. So there was also that sort of pitch to local communities to, of course, see the benefits of EDCA. Aside from that, there was also the message that that the Philippines and U.S. is back on track in its partnership. There were no new announcements. There are no announcements on the news sites. That's something that we've all been waiting for, but they said the announcement will come soon, not today. They're waiting on a mutually agreed time to announce that, and we're probably going to look forward to that in the 2+2 Defense and Foreign Ministerial meeting in April. For now, though, the groundbreaking project here in the runway rehabilitation is one of the bigger projects between the Philippine Air Force and the U.S. Under EDCA. And again, not much that you can see right now, but then once it's complete, they expect this to be kind of a place also where not only the Philippines and the U.S. will benefit in terms of what it could be used for, but also other countries. And actually, just a little bit of more context on the place itself. Outside the Philippines and U.S. EDCA deal, this is also the home of the Philippine Air Force's air defense and fighter aircraft. So that's your FA-50s and the like. So we expect to see more projects like this in the future, especially as new sites are going to be announced and as new projects will be underway and hopefully under completion soon. This particular project is targeted to be completed in September of this year, since it's already almost halfway there. And it's also going to be the sites of multiple additional EDCA projects in the future. So, of course, we'll be giving all of that to you and delivering all of the updates to you on Rappler. So stay tuned and read our stories. Again, I'm Sofia Tomacruz, and this has been Rappler Recap.